everybody, sports fans out there, and welcome to the Hot Seat Sports Talk, the Revival season finale, episode 12, the 100th overall show of the Hot Seat Sports Talk. And Brian, I swear we keep running out of time for this guest that we have on.
But he's right here, though.
But I think, are we out of time already? Because I think we just started the show, though.
I don't know. I'm not wearing a watch. I can't tell.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just looking at my wrist. So, but we are joined by Denver Broncos punter Sam Martin. Sam, welcome. It is such an honor to have you on. Finally,
Finally.
So, first off, Sam, I just want to ask you, how have you been during quarantine, and how is life? What has life been like for you during this lockdown?
So like I was telling you before we started here, first of all, thanks for making time for me. Appreciate that. And
yeah, no
second
problem.
of all, so I was living out in LA, and all this stuff went down, so I kind of got locked down out there. And I was lucky enough, right when it all started going down, I decided to stop going to the gym before they kind of started making people not go to the gym. So I got on Amazon and ordered a bunch of stuff to put in the backyard of the house I was renting, and so it was all right. I didn't really miss much, as far as I stayed by myself. It's just me and Leo, and I just worked out every day. There was a pool, I swam, and the house was up on a hill, so I got a hill I could run. So I actually got some really good work in. It was a good time for me to kind of reset myself, and so I pretty much took advantage of it. I looked at it as an opportunity to kind of get good rest, get good work, eat really well, and kind of make sure I didn't get too far behind the ball when it was time to get back to football. No pun intended.
Oh, absolutely, because it's been hard for everybody. I could just be for me and Brian. It's been hard for us to come home for college. It was definitely definitely changed because Brian went back. Week after spring break, then he had to come home. I came home for spring break, and then I didn't go back. So that's just how it was. So now getting into it. So getting into some questions for you, Sam. Going back to your high school days, what sports did you play in high school?
So I played soccer and basketball all of high school, and then my senior year is when I started kicking footballs. So 1 year of football and 3 or 4 years of soccer and basketball.
All right. But so you said that too just now. Just you only played 1 year of football in high school. How did you end up playing football?
Well, so it's kind of a crazy story, man. So I played soccer my whole life, and the football team kind of always asked me to come out and kick. Like, hey, come kick. You got to go leg. You're a soccer player. Ever since I was a freshman, and I kind of was like, no, soccer's my thing. Soccer's my thing. I was pretty committed to soccer, and my junior year in high school, I committed to play soccer at Georgia State, and so my senior year when they came to ask me to kick again, I was like, I already got my scholarship for soccer, and what's to really lose? I'm probably not going to get hurt out there kicking, so let's do it. So I kind of just did it just to kind of help the team out. I like the coaches, and I was like, this could be just a cool experience for myself. And, one thing led to another. I started getting kind of looked at for kicking, and mainly because my kickoffs, I was hitting kickoffs for the uprights, and it was that kind of put me on the map, if you will. And I wasn't even really trying to be put on the map. So once I started talking to some big schools, it's kind of all a new experience. It was eye-opening for me, Auburn and UGA and all these colleges. I'm used to talking to these small soccer schools. So then kind of became a reality, and that one thing led to another, man. And I still to this day, people ask me why did I end up switching from decommitting soccer and playing football, and it was just a gut feeling type thing. And sure enough, it worked out.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe me, I think you made the right call. Granted everything. So like you said, now that I know that your dad attended my current school, Central Michigan,
my dad went to Eastern.
Your dad went to Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, I think if you pull that off the Lions website or something, I think it's a typo because they had it wrong in there for a while.
Because I was looking at Appalachian State's website, and it says your dad went to Central. So your dad went to Eastern, which is still in the MAC, and was Eastern an option for you, either for soccer, for football, for education? Was Eastern an option for you?
That never really came on the table. No, I never really talked to Eastern. It was never It was my football. The football schools that got interested in me were mainly close to me, because it was kind of like I don't know if a word of mouth type thing. There's this kid who's kicking kickoffs far. I'm not really sure what happened, but they were mainly, you know, Sun Belt, SEC, ACC, SoCon, Southern Conference at the time was what App State was. But yeah, Eastern never really presented itself, or else TJ Lang would have been compadres.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh no, yeah, TJ was Eastern, right? Wasn't TJ Lang Eastern Michigan?
Yeah. TJ went to Eastern. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you ultimately choose Appalachian State? And like you said, what made it so compelling to choose Appalachian State over all the other schools that reached out to you?
Well, so Auburn and Georgia ended up just offering me preferred walk-ons, and then if I win the job, scholarship type thing. And App State offered me a scholarship, and so I went up there on a visit last second, not really far from signing day, and it was just such a cool place. So it's this little campus up in the mountains. It's beautiful, and a huge football school as far as respectable size and whatnot. It's what it is, a football school in the SoCon at the time. They just ran the SoCon. So it was really appealing to me. They just beat Michigan. It was a cool thing. I kind of wanted to get away from home, and it was just far enough from home. And it was just a new start, like change in my chapter of my life. I didn't know anybody, and it was just all so new. And it was a great way to kind of transition from adolescence, I feel like, to maybe adulthood, if you will. And I loved it. It worked out. I loved the school. I loved everything about it.
It's great to hear about that for your time at college. Yeah, it definitely is a huge change for just everyone in general. So, but again, talking about your time at App State, what did you major and minor in during your time there?
I majored in marketing, and I had a minor in supply chain management. And I was really kind of into the supply chain management thing. It's just pretty much logistics, and pretty much operations behind the scenes of point A to point B, and what makes the whole supply chain go. And it really interested me a lot. And I did the marketing thing just so if I kind of wanted to get into a sports realm, I had a sports marketing degree to at least have that background. So yeah, I was your typical college student. Like, what do I want to do? I don't know. Marketing's pretty broad. The supply chain management's kind of on the different side of the spectrum. So I kind of have both ends covered. I can kind of be flexible with what I want to do. But yeah, I my only subject that I was actually came natural to me really was kind of math. I did okay in my math classes, but the other stuff was, yeah, most people say that. I was bad at science. I enjoyed history just because I like history, but I don't think I was really good at that either. I was your typical, I did what I could to get by type of student.
Yeah. I wish I was good. I really wish I was good at math. But I'm with you in history and science. It's what I'm going for. For medical, so that's what I'm going for. So
that's tough, man. Ooh.
Believe me. It's five and a half, 6 more years of school left. So
there you go. Hey, it'll be worth it at the end.
Yeah. So Sam, what are your best memories on and off the field at Appalachian State?
We had a game against Georgia Southern, which was our biggest rivalry in the SoCon, obviously. We went back and forth all the time. We played them on Halloween night in App State one night, and it was so cool. The whole stadium, 30,000 people, all in their Halloween costumes, and we beat them like 72-20 or something. We absolutely killed them. So that game I'll remember forever, for sure. And then off the field, I have a handful of memories being up in the mountains like that. I was a whitewater rafting guide in the summer as my job. There was waterfalls we'd go to. There's ski parks. We'd snowboard. So I think off the field type stuff was just a whole new world for me as far as being an outdoors mountainy type person. And, and it's kind of funny because now I'm going to Denver, and lots of people call Boone, North Carolina, where I went to college, or App State is like a mini type Denver, or a small Colorado city, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, that's, it's kind of like, the same environment for you, which is, kind of, it's not like what you had here in Detroit, in the suburbs of Detroit, but it's kind of cool to hear that you're kind of getting back into what you used to do in college, and what Denver and up in the mountains in Appalachian State, North Carolina. So that's really cool to hear. All right, so now we're going to do one of our favorite segments that we've introduced on this revival season, Sam. It's called Rapid Fire 7, and since it's the end of the season, we're going to add 3 more questions. So we're going to ask you 10 rapid fire questions, just totally random off the wall questions, just to get to know you. So I'll start off first. What is your highest bowling score?
190.
190. Okay.
All right. Respect. Wait, what was that?
I said I haven't broke 200 yet. Just 198. I got real close.
Okay.
198. Okay.
And that was with a turkey.
Dang. Oh my God, I've never rolled a turkey. I want to. All right. So next, for out of all the players that you played with on the Lions, who was the biggest jokester or prankster?
Prater, 100%. Matt Prater.
Matt Prater.
No questions asked. And I think anyone in the building would tell you that.
All right. How did Leo get his name?
There's really no reason behind it. I just I was trying to think of names, and when I picked him up, his name was Kringle. That's what they had him named, Kringle. So just like, what's he look like? And I just started throwing out names, and I was like, I think Leo works, and I think he looks like a Leo.
Yeah, he does.
All right, next for you. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that food be?
If I'm going to be unhealthy about it, I'd say chicken wings. I love some chicken wings.
Chicken wings are good.
Very, very good choice. What would the theme song of your life be so far?
Ooh, that one's going to take some thinking.
Put you on the spot.
Oh, shoot. Maybe Tom Petty, Free Fallin'. I don't know why that just came to mind. Trying to think of just like random song.
I mean, that's
hey,
good. I mean,
it's a classic, right?
Yeah, it's a classic. Why not?
Kind of going with the flow. Yeah.
Next for you, what was your favorite restaurant in Royal Oak?
Oh man, I like probably Vincetta's Garage. Garage.
Okay.
Yeah, right up Woodward there. Love that place.
Yeah, that's a really good place. What is the weirdest thing you have ever autographed?
I'm sure there's something weirder than this, but this is one that always surprises me is when people have me sign their cell phones.
Oh.
There's definitely weird. I'm sure I've signed something weirder than that, but anytime something I'm like, you sure you want me to sign your $1,000 piece of technology here? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before.
Or maybe that picture right there.
That's a standard one.
So all right, next, get in a good relaxation mood. What's your favorite vacation spot?
I say if I'm staying in the country, it would be I really like the Breakers in it's a hotel in Palm Beach. Actually, I've lived down here now, so I don't see me going there as often anymore. But I used to go there on bye weeks and stuff. It's a cool little resort.
Interesting.
I love the Bahamas though too. I like blue water.
Blue water, yeah, nice clear crystal water.
Yeah.
Oh man. Fortunately, hopefully we can all travel and see that soon.
Right.
So going to NFL, what's your favorite NFL city to visit?
I've been asked this question a lot. It's I'd say it's twofold because like playing at Green Bay is awesome just because it's Lambeau Field historic, but obviously there's not much going on in Old Appleton and Green Bay, Wisconsin. So as far as city goes, it's always cool playing in New Orleans. any of the New York teams, it's cool cities to go to there. And I think this year though, I get to playing in Vegas actually. Now that I'm in the AFC and we playing in Vegas, first year of that stadium. So I bet that's gonna be pretty cool. But for the most part, when we travel away games, I don't really leave the hotel. So if I'm basing this just off of stadium wise, I like Green Bay. I like Arizona Stadium. It's a fun stadium to play at, and New Orleans is a cool one too.
Yeah, like you said,
Minnesota's pretty awesome now as well.
Oh yeah, their new stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, Sam, you get, since you're in the AFC West, you get to not only play in Vegas, but you get to see the Chargers' new stadium as well this year. So that will be
That's right.
Very interesting. Both of those stadiums are supposed to be very, very nice. So
yeah, I'm excited about that.
So, and final question for you in this rapid fire: in your celebrity charity softball games, what is your favorite memory?
I'd say the home run derby. Me and Jake Rudock went into like triple overtime at home run derby. He ended up winning, but it came down to the wire.
I remember that. Yeah, that was definitely an entertaining. Because you guys kept going shot for shot. And,
yeah.
And Rudock ended up taking that. So, and those games were so much fun. And we will mention your charity toward the end of the show. But for now, you, my friend, you were selected by the Detroit Lions in the 5th round of the 2013 draft. Where were you when you got that call, and did you have any idea that the Lions were interested in you?
Yeah, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and watching the draft with some family and a few friends. And, I knew Detroit was one of the possible teams I could land at. So, getting to those times and looking at when they're coming up to pick, I was kind of hoping and staring at my phone, hoping, and then Detroit number rang. So it was super cool, super exciting. But I did know that Detroit was one of the teams of a better chance of me going to, whether it was drafted or after in free agency. I knew that they were looking for a punter.
So, Sam, in Detroit, you were a rookie, and you were roommates with a fellow rookie, Joe Foray, who is now your friend. How did that come to be? And was it like having fun having a roommate your rookie year with him? And like, how close are you guys now?
Well, so we actually weren't roommates. We just had we lived in the same like apartment complex, so we were like neighbors rather. But it was cool. We came in the same time. Kind of had some mutual friends coincidentally in the past, and we just kind of got along. So we kind of stuck together from day one. And we still stay in touch. He's in California and doing his thing, and it was great. We had a great great run together there in Detroit, and had a ton of fun together.
Absolutely. So now, going into your rookie year, 2013, what was it like holding for David Akers in your rookie year? And what did he and vet long snapper Don Molbach teach you? And how close were the three of you guys in your rookie year?
Having those two, as kind of as a rookie, having those two in my corner was really huge for my development. I think it wasn't easy holding for a lefty after never holding before, so that was a learning curve. But they were great mentors to me. Learned a lot from both of them, and obviously Muhlbach my whole career. But it was just great. Akers is potential Hall of Famer, and it was a blessing walking into that situation as a young kicker in the NFL.
So speaking through those other kickers, like Akers, when you first got to Detroit, you also went through Freeze and Henry before Matt Prater came in. So I'm going to ask you, how important is it to have a cohesive unit year in and year out?
I think it's very big. I don't think it's mandatory. A lot of, like for instance, this year I'm going with new kicker McManus, and there's 2 snappers on the roster that weren't there last year. So I don't think it's a requirement, but you spend enough time with those guys, especially when you get to 3, 4, 5, 6 years with the same crew. It saves a lot of time and catching up every season. We show up, and it doesn't take long for us to get right back on the same page. So that was huge, and I think that's beneficial in any position, really. Just cohesiveness, understanding, knowing how someone works, what they like, what they don't like, so on. So that's definitely it's definitely a nice thing to have. I don't think it's necessarily imperative.
Interesting, very interesting. So you guys would make the playoffs in 2014, and as all Detroit fans know, the pass interference call against the Cowboys that would ultimately cost you guys the game. What was it like on the sideline when that entire situation was unfolding? And looking back on it, what are your thoughts on that play?
Honestly, dude, it was a confusing few minutes on the sidelines. No one kind of knew what was going on. Or do we have to punt? What's going on? Where's the situation? What's blah blah. So it really didn't really click. It really didn't settle into me till like after the game. Because I went in there, hit a bad punt, so that was more so what I was focused on. That all the talk was about the missed call. So it was I was more so concerned about myself in that situation, and so that going back and really seeing the play and the pass interference and whatnot, it's unfortunate. It's you see it happen a lot in the league, kind of a chain reaction, if you will. That's where you got to kind of be a pro and not let one bad play turn into another, and so that kind of there you go. That it was truly unfortunate, but it happens. You see it time and time again. You see it with the New Orleans game and that this pass interference call. Unfortunately, it's part of the game. I think we got to do better, but it's just one of those things you got to keep swinging.
Yeah, you said that well. Just what a great athlete always has to think. Just got to keep looking ahead. Can't keep dwelling on the past. Exactly.
Yep.
So personally, Sam, Jim Caldwell was one of my favorite coaches on the Lions. What was your relationship with him?
I was very close with Coach Caldwell, and can't say enough good things about the guy as a coach and as a person, especially. He was great for me, and the time he was with me, and we worked really well together. He had a great understanding of how I work and how I operate, and it was a pleasure playing for him. And he's an unbelievable person, unbelievable human being.
That's so nice to hear. He was a great guy. So in 2016, Sam, you were named an alternate for the Pro Bowl. Would you consider that your greatest career achievement so far? If that's not it, then what is?
I wouldn't say greatest achievement so far, because I don't really look at it as an achievement, unfortunately. As I was a first alternate, I wasn't the one going. So and that's always a personal goal. I would say that year statistically, though, is maybe my greatest achievement. I think that my net that season, I think, might still be top 5 in NFL history. So don't quote me on that, but I think it is. But so that was personally for me. That's more so my greatest achievement, is having the stats I had that year, and that's pretty much now my going forward. My goal now is to beat that. I want to always do better, and since then I haven't been able to. I had some injuries here and there, but that's always the goal, is to be better than your best, and that season definitely was my best season.
So going off stats and achievements like you were talking about, so far you've had over 20,000 yards punting, and you punted hundreds of times. But is there one in particular that sticks out to you?
I think, one that I do remember, I want to say it was against the Saints in probably 2016. I hit a punt that from like the opposite 50 or the opposite 45 or something left hash. For some reason, I always remember this punt. I hit a ball over to the right corner, and it went out of bounds at like the inch line, like barely. It almost hit the pylon right on the corner there. And they spotted it just inside the 1 yard line. That's when you're trying to do that, you're trying to hit a ball out of bounds on the right side and you put it out right at the 1, that's you're doing exactly what you're trying to do. So that one sticks out to me, but it's really hard to remember. There's been so many. I've had a couple. I had one in against the Bears, backed up into the game. We were only up by a few points, and there's a really strong headwind in my face, and I had to get it out to the 50, and I cut one through the wind pretty nicely. So there's balls like that where a couple overtime punts. I think we played against the Bears one year, went to double overtime, and I think I averaged like 59 in overtime or something. So there's a handful of them out there, but it's you're only as good as your last, is what they say. So you just gotta always try to do every punt's got to be your best in essence. If you know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely, and I can say that for myself as well. So for my
Yep.
high school days. So
Yep.
so finally, Sam, because I've been curious about this. How long did you guys practice Prater's touchdown pass for, and what was going through your mind during that play in Lambeau?
We kind of dabbled with that all year, but really going into that week, I think we practiced it the most. And I don't think we ever really thought we were going to call it. Me and Prater were pretty shocked. I forget what that play was called, but I remember running out the field and relaying it to Prater because he comes down from the end and telling him, "Hey, it's on, it's on." He's like, "What? Are we?" And he's like, we just weren't really expecting it. But sure enough, we got out there and ran it to perfection. It was pretty awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, and it was awesome to watch, and also to hear Pat McAfee call that game as well. I mean,
yeah,
you can't get better than that. So, especially in how if you probably heard on how excited Pat was when Prater completed that touchdown pass on the broadcast. So that was definitely a play that I won't forget for a long time. So this offseason, Sam, you signed with the Denver Broncos. We are sad to see you leave Detroit after so long. Did the Lions offer you a contract, and what was the major reasoning for you going to Denver?
They did. Lions offered me a contract. It wasn't close to Denver's, and it wasn't really was never really a competitive offer. So it was, we kind of went back and forth. I wanted to stay in Detroit at the time, and I always kind of wanted to, and Denver came in the picture late, and Denver's obviously an awesome city. I've always, Prater's always told me about how cool it is to live there and play there. So I started thinking about it, and then one thing led to another. I started learning more about kind of the organization, the coordinator there, and then Brandon McManus, their kicker, I knew. I was talking to him a little bit, and it really started. I started getting more and more excited about Denver. And one thing led to another, and that's really where I really wanted to land. After talking to people and talking to the organization and just negotiating, if you will. And I got really excited about the city of Denver and in the direction the team's going. So it wasn't necessarily not wanting to go to Detroit or not going to Denver. It was just I got, it was a weird situation, me being a free agent. It was all new to me, but I think I landed in the right place, and I'm super excited about it now at this point for sure.
Yeah. When I found out that you signed, I was so relieved because Denver has been my second team behind the Lions for a long time. So I was just
perfect.
So stoked that I could go back to my old Denver ways. Because you have to be excited with the direction the team's going. With Drew Lock obviously developing as a quarterback. That backfield with now Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay, on the defensive end with Vaughn Miller and all those guys. And so now it's you and McManus on the special team. So I really think that you guys in Denver are going to be a true contender in the AFC this year.
Yeah, the roster is definitely looking great, and the draft was awesome draft. We got some more weapons outside to go with Cortland Sutton, and it just it seems like the pieces are all coming together for out there in Denver, and I'm excited to be a part of the organization. I mean, the history of the organization it's got a winning history. That's what the Broncos are known for a long time. So
yep.
I'm excited to get up there and get to know the guys and get comfortable, get settled in, and with the new teammates and new coaches, and get it rolling.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm speaking for Aaron too. Hopefully, once that rolls around, hopefully we see great success coming for you very soon.
I appreciate that, man. That's the plan. I'm kind of treating this as kind of a fresh start. I'm feeling like a rookie again. I'm feeling good, kicking good. My excitement levels are high, and just kind of treating this as a new chapter.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're all excited to see what happens. So, you and Aaron were talking about the players that are on Denver already, but with Corona happening, have you been able to like meet or work out with some of your Denver teammates yet? And then
Uh,
also, sorry, you can answer that
no, go
first.
ahead. No, go ahead. All right,
I
I'll
was,
answer that first. Yeah. I'd say no, not much. I mean, I've been getting to know some of these guys on our Zoom meetings,
yeah,
and whatnot. You know, we meet every day, and so we've been. I'm getting to know him in that sense, and then I've gotten together with McManus and kicked with him a couple of times. So trying to get into sync with him a little bit, and really just trying to get to know these guys as much as I can through our Zoom meetings.
all right, yeah, and then hopefully, yeah, with Corona ending, well, not Corona ending, but hopefully, if everything easing up soon and just everything getting back to normal, hopefully you can see those in-person meetings as well.
Right.
And then, following up with your new chapter in Denver, do you still keep in contact with anyone from the Lions?
Yeah, I talk to Prater pretty often still, and Amendola. Me and Danny became pretty good friends. I still keep in touch with him. Talk to Stafford every now and then still, and Muehlbach. You check in with Muehlbach every now and then too. So I'll still keep. You know, a lot of these guys. You know, I've known for 7 years now, and so I think those friendships. You know, they last forever, and chances are at some point I'll play with some of those guys again somewhere. You know how it goes in the NFL. So, yeah, they're friends for life pretty much. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the bond that you and Muehlbach have about your entire career to this point, and in Detroit, and the bond that you and Prater have shared, and and Matt Stafford's been here the entire time. So yeah, those friendships hopefully do last a long time, and you eventually meet up with some of your former teammates and play with them again. So moving forward into Denver, Sam, what are you most looking forward to this season in Mile High?
I think it's just the same as anything else, just competing, hopefully winning. I'm just looking forward to getting in there and learning the culture and winning some games. It's going to be different for me, obviously different colors, different uniform, different, fans. But I think the goal and the anticipation is the same. I want to get up there and compete. I want to get up there and win. So that's the biggest part of it. I'm missing competition right now. I'm trying to play golf as much as I can, but that's the best part of the game. You get to get out there and the opportunity to compete every day and achieve something every day. So I just can't wait to get up there and just start being a part of it, getting our hands on it and start going.
Absolutely. Obviously, with everything that's been happening, it's been kind of hard, and also a little bit frustrating as well. I can imagine for you. So, and finally, Sam, for you, can you tell us about the Sam Martin Foundation, and will it continue on in Denver?
Yeah. So the foundation, I'm gonna kind of revamp it a little bit, maybe change a few things in it. But the mission is going to be the same. Just I want to help be a part, change lives, especially in kids, less fortunate kids with disabilities, and illnesses, terminal illnesses. The work I did in Detroit, and I think the mission is going to be the same going to Denver. I might add some stuff, and also the animal stuff that I like to do. So yeah, I'm gonna get with as soon as I get up there, I'm meeting with some people with the Broncos and maybe come up with a new mission statement and kind of redo the website, because a lot of colors are blue and white and silver, if you recall. So I got to do a little bit of revamping and hopefully at some point soon. I was planning at this point being up there already, maybe getting some things going, but as soon as I get up there, that's definitely on the list.
Yeah, hopefully maybe get the softball games going back up there in Denver. I know that'd be pretty fun to pretty fun to see.
Yeah, it would be. That would be sweet.
But Sam, that's all we have for you. We can't thank you enough for coming on our 100th overall show. And we can't use the joke anymore. We got to come up with another athlete to pin on to try and get on the show now. So, Sam, we thank you so much for your time. We hope you stay healthy and safe, as well as Leo. And we are going to be rooting for you so much this season in Denver. It's going to look different. It's going to look different from Honolulu Blue to Orange Crush, but
Yeah.
to Orange Crush. But it's definitely going to be a very cool change to see, and I can't wait to get my jersey already with your name on it. So it's going to be a new chapter, and I can't wait. Hopefully, I can fly out to Denver one of these years to see you.
Yeah, man, we got to get you out there for sure, and appreciate you. Thanks to both of you guys for having me on the show. It's awesome job, guys. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate talking to you.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you.
As always, one of my really good friends, and one of my good friends for a really long time. So, and keep in touch, and keep that golf swing up as well.
I'm trying my best.
keep that up, and and keep Leo happy as well.
No doubt, boys. And stay in touch with me also, man, and let's do it again sometime, all right?
Absolutely.
Great to
hear. All right, boys. Have a good one, man.
Have a great.
You too, stay safe.
If we don't talk to you, have a great season, Sam.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Sam. Man, what a great show. I mean,
wow.
We can't use the joke anymore, man. I mean, that's unfortunate, but
that's a way to end the joke, though. 100th episode, though. Final episode of the revival season.
Season finale. Yeah, I mean, that's Sam Martin for you folks. Just high octane energy. That's what he brings. Obviously, no more Honolulu Blue. It's all about the Orange Crush now.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see how, like we said, with the weapons Denver's getting, they got to go up against Mahomes and the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the new Vegas Raiders as well.
That's going to be insane.
And plus they have Tom Brady's Buccaneers on their schedule as well. So it's going to be an interesting year for the Broncos. So it's unfortunate to see Sam go, but we could here at the Hot Seat Sports Side, we couldn't be more than happy for him and his new opportunity in Denver.
Yeah, for sure. We can only hope for good things too for him and his organization.
Just for that, I'm drafting McManus in fantasy now.
There we go. He's a good kicker too, so win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that is going to do it for the revival season 4, basically. And now with the NBA and the NHL starting to revamp, I think we have to come back for one more season before we go back to school.
You know what? I think we may have to.
Season 5?
Season 5.
All right. And that will do it for us, and in our 12th installment of the revival, our 100th show overall. Can't believe it. And apologies. Nope. Can't say that no more. Apologies to Joe Fourier. We ran out of time.
Oh, snap.
Apologies to Joe Fourier. We ran out of time. And we will see you again in season 5. And as always, keep it fresh.